when you have your abundance, when you have your new relationship, when you have your new career, you live in separation from the emotion until the experience occurs. And then when the experience occurs, it takes away the lack or separation of not having it. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's begin.
I felt like the magic sauce from a practical standpoint was embodying the feeling, having accomplished it. Like, it's one thing to know why you want it, and it's another thing to, for those catch up people for a second since we're on this topic. You did a manifestation technique where we thought about what we wanted, and it could be anything, right? It could be a shopping trip, it could be a car, it could be whatever, anything that you want to manifest, and then sort of represent that with a letter. And then on, one side of the letter, you write down 3, 4, 5 reasons why. And then on the other side, you write down 3 or 4, 5 reasons or elevated emotions having accomplished it. And so then we went into the meditation and we did it. And anyway, 2 hours later, it happened. And somebody goes, oh, there's a trip to Egypt in February if you want to go. And so boom, here we are now. So that to me feels like what the magic sauce is. Is that right? Or?
Well, let's talk about it. I think that we've been hypnotized and conditioned into believing that, we have to do something in order to have an experience in three-dimensional reality. And this is the plane of demonstration. So when we have the experience, the end product of an experience is an emotion, right? So that's the payoff. When you have your abundance, when you have your new relationship, when you have your new career, you live in separation from the emotion until the experience occurs. And then when the experience occurs, it takes away the lack or separation of not having it. Nothing wrong with that. That's the rules of three-dimensional reality. And you can get really good at it. You could go to school, you can make the right choices, you can learn from your mistakes, you can be trained to get better at it, and you can develop skills, and you can accumulate resources, and it can get easier for you. But in the quantum, if you're creating from the field instead of from matter, which is a broad conversation, you have to feel it in order to experience it. And so that's kind of a reversal, because most people will say, well, I'm not going to feel gratitude until my healing actually happens. Well, it turns out that you got to feel gratitude in order for the healing to happen. And our data shows that over and over again. So your body is so objective that when you feel the emotion before the experience, it doesn't know the difference between the real life experience that's creating that emotion and the emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone. The body's actually believing it's living in a new environment, a new condition. So it turns out it requires, if you're looking at a secret sauce, we've kind of whittled it down to a formula. And it requires a clear intention, and that is a vision of what you want to have happen, and that is selecting a new possibility, an unknown, that you would like to experience. Okay, so what does that require? That requires your brain being really coherent. So we've isolated the process of being able to make your brain work better. And I talked to the brain scientists a few times, and I said, tell me what percentage of people that immerse themselves in an event for 7 days, what percentage of those people do their brains get better? They said 100%, 100%. So we know that you can make your brain work better if you learn that formula. Okay, so now we have a clear intention, but that's only one element. There is another element that is the handmaiden to that, and that is an elevated emotion. Now, elevated emotion, I'm talking about, so many people feel with every single body part except their heart. I mean, that's just kind of a weird thing that we do as human beings. Well, you protect that. It's you being vulnerable in the jungle means you're more likely to be taken advantage of. And you get bruised or injured in your life. You kind of learn from that, and you protect it, right? So, in the creative process, the heart is the creative center. We have compelling data to show that once you open that heart of yours and it starts beating in a rhythm and a coherence, it actually informs the brain it's safe to create. It actually tells the brain to get creative, and brainwaves change. And so when you combine that coherent heart and elevated emotion, and you start feeling the emotions before the experience, the heart actually produces an external magnetic field. Well, now you got a Wi-Fi signal, and that field could actually resonate with a coherent brain, the intent, and the thought is the electrical charge that sends the signal out. It's the directive. And the elevated emotion, that feeling is a magnetic charge. And we've got enough information to show that the heart's the magnet. So you're going to draw the experience to you with your heart. So when there's a kind of match in frequency between some potential in the quantum field and what you would like to experience, and you keep tuning in to that potential, and you're actually creating from the field instead of from matter, the rules change.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to go anywhere to get what you want. Somehow the experience finds you, and it comes in unexpected and surprising ways to prove to you that you're actually a creator in your life. And
so true.
When that occurs, then it's no longer like I have to meditate. It's actually like, I'm not going to stop doing this because I don't want the magic to end. And so that's what I'm really super proud about in our community. We're doers, we do the work, not because we have to, or to please God or do the right thing or not feel guilty, or we do it because we don't want the magic to end in all those synchronicities, all those coincidences, all those opportunities that start appearing in our life to prove to us what I did inside of me is somehow producing some effect outside of me. And if I can correlate what I did inside with me with those synchronicities, those opportunities that are happening outside of me, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing and do it again. And my belief in what's possible actually broadens. And, I've been studying people in the last 6 months or so, because my belief about what's possible has actually changed in witnessing so many people's transformations. I never thought I would see multiple sclerosis or muscular dystrophy or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or blindness or paralysis, a change in 7 days. I mean, this is kind of crazy stuff that we're witnessing. And I listened to the testimonials of these people, and I talked to them. And what they change is their doubt in what's possible. And we were kind of talking about this before we started. It's so relevant for all of us, because some people think they do the meditation. If I do this meditation, I'll heal. And when I listened really closely to those people, and some of them did their meditations 2 and 3 times a day. Why? Because no chemo, no drug, no surgery, no diet, no exercise was actually changing their health at all. And nothing changes in our life until we change.
Yeah.
So they were doing their meditation 2 and 3 times a day, not because they thought if I meditate more and try harder, it's going to work. They defaulted back to the doubt that it was possible. Now, when you're
tình yêu đâu cứ phải muốn là quên được ngay, còn thương em nên anh đau lòng lắm đây. Dù ra sao anh cũng chẳng thể đổi thay, một cuộc sống không em anh phải làm sao đây. Tự thương lấy mình thôi đớn đau nhiều rồi, tự mình vỗ về thôi khi không ai cạnh bên. Tập yêu bản thân thôi để không phải buồn, rồi người thương hóa người dưng cứ sao lệ mi tuôn. Tự thương lấy mình thôi chẳng ai thay đổi, tự mình cố vượt qua nỗi đau sẽ bối xóa. Tập yêu bản thân thôi cho nên yêu vội, tình yêu đâu phải trò chơi để cho ta lạc lối.
when you respond and react to someone or something in your life and you get back into the familiar feeling of yourself, you're going to believe in your past more than you're going to believe in your future. So they did the meditation to change their state. They got that clear intention back again. They felt their elevated emotion. When they felt the elevated emotion, they actually believed in their future again because they could feel connected to it. So they were doing their meditations 2 and 3 times a day, not to do it more so they could heal, but they defaulted back to their doubt and they had to go back and change their belief. And so many of them now, after their moment, God, we have so many great testimonials, and I listen really closely. They say, now I have no doubt, like no doubt. There was a guy in London that came to our event in August with muscular dystrophy, a really rare form of Baker's or Slim Gardens muscular dystrophy. It's progressive. That you look at it on the internet anywhere, it'll say there is no cure for it. He came in a wheelchair. He walked out of that event. He was walking. They just sent me a video of him this week walking down the street in India, just strolling down the street. Like you, I don't know if people really understand like the magnitude of that. That is going so against convention. It's such an unusual thing to witness. I watched that video 50 times in the beginning, over and over again, because I just had to say, wow, this is unbelievable. I got to really remember what's possible as human beings, and it is really changing our belief from a state of doubt, like doubt is the emotion that keeps us connected to believing in the past, and then feeling the elevated emotion causes us to believe more in the future. And it only takes that image of the future and the emotion, the thought and the feeling, the stimulus and response, where you start conditioning the body into the mind or the emotion of that future.